Hey guys, UDT here, back with episode 7 of the Ghost Recon Wildlands tutorial series where I'm recreating the Recon drone from that game. Now I've set up a lot of different things so far. Currently we're up to one of the last couple bits where I'm making the drone HUD have a system to show the signal range we're at, so that it updates the texture so that it will change it so that the player knows what's going on. But to begin with, we're going to go ahead and make a sequence so we can continue on from where we left off last time. Now this is going to be rather complicated, to be fair. We're also going to need to pass to our drone. I say complicated, but it's more tedious than anything. We're going to get the player pawn, and then we're going to drag out from here. We're going to go max signal distance. And then just to save you guys the pain of having to watch me insert every single one of these, I'm just going to cheat and drag this in from a previous document that I've been working on. We're going to connect the top one of every single one of these. Now I'll explain what all of this does later on. There's probably a more efficient way of doing this, but I just personally don't know of it, so I've had to do it all manually. But what's going on here is we're checking if anything is 1500, if it's greater than 1500 or equal to it, and if it's less than 2000 or equal to 2000. And then from here we will branch out here, and then we'll change the texture. So on this first one, we're going to make a branch. Going to connect that there. And then we are going to set our image. So we're going to go, we need to make a variable first. We're going to go ahead and call this one signal image. And then we're going to go and get a reference to the texture. We're going to drag this one out and go set. We're going to set that first one to be our signal 1, because this will be our drone at the furthest point. So we'll have our lowest signal bar. Signal 1, just so you know, is this little one here that just has the one little signal bar. So now that we've done that, we now have to go ahead and connect that to the return node. It's really far away. We're going to need to split that struct, and we're going to want to set that to 102 and 95, which is what we set earlier. And then we can just leave those as they are. So we're now going to repeat this same step for all the other nodes. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to make a bunch of them. So we're going to have it so that it goes about 4. And then I'm just going to copy paste these and then connect them together. There. So once we have these 4 set up, we're going to go ahead and change all of these. So we'll bank this one 2, this one 3, and this one 4. And then you'll notice down at the bottom here, we still have one more, so that if it is greater than 2000, that we haven't set. So for this one, we're going to go ahead and drag out from the top. We're going to make a branch. We'll connect that. And then if it's greater than 2000, we copy paste this one at the top and set that to true, because this one's already got our one signal image here. We also need to make a post process. We're going to come under our drone, we're going to make another post process. We're going to call this out of signal range TP. And then we're also going to make sure that by default it is not enabled and it's not auto activated. And then we're going to have to make sure that we come down into lens, and then we select our image effects and turn all 3 of these on. We're going to leave the first one default at 0.4. We'll make our grain jitter 3, and then our grain intensity 2. And we're going to come back into here, and we're going to get a reference to our drone again. So I'm going to cheat and drag this across here. And then I'm going to go out of signal. And then we get a reference to that. We're then going to want to set it So we're gonna go set. There you go, set settings. I spelled it wrong. Then connect that. Oh, sorry, it's not set settings, it's set enabled. It already has its settings, it's just not being turned on. And then connect that way up there at the top, drag that out a bit so it fits a little better. Okay, so currently we're turning this on, but if we ever go greater than 2000 and then we manage to come back in before our drone gets destroyed, we're not turning it off, so we now need to come back up to the top here and get another reference to our drone. I'm actually just going to copy these two with Control-C, Control-V, then connect that there. Then going to drag this one down here and plug that in. I'm going to make sure it's unticked and bring this over here. Add a little line just so it looks a little neater. And then for the sake of making this look neater, I'm going to drag this one way down here. Just so it looks a little better. Now this will probably look very confusing because I haven't explained too much of what's going on here yet. But basically, we're getting a reference to our character. So we're using that to get the float that we have saved on our character for the max signal distance, which we're setting inside of here, which is right here. And then with this, we're then checking to see if it is greater than or equal to 1500 and less than or equal to 2000, meaning that it's in between these two numbers. And then by doing that, we're then setting it to the lowest possible signal image, because if it's in between these two numbers, it's in between our max signal range that we set here. So if you were to make this number higher, then you would have to change the numbers I'm using. I've currently set it to 2000 just for testing purposes, but say you were doing this in your game, you'd want to make this number higher because 2000 is not a very big distance. If you did make that higher, you would then have to come up with different numbers here so that you can have the range changed to fit it. Now, hopefully this makes sense. If you get stuck on these numbers, I can try and assist you. But the basic gist of it is this one should be your maximum range number right here. And then all of these should go down in the same pattern that it is. So 1500, 2000, 1000, 1500. If you were doing, say, 100,000 as your max range, you would want to set it so that it goes down in increments of like 25,000 so that it has 4 equal ones, because we have 4 images that we're using. And then once you've set all of that up, we then have an AND function, so make sure that both of these are true. If that comes out true, then it will set this image to our image that we're using here at this return node. One more thing is we need to plug that in right there. There we go. Oh, we can only have... Okay, oops. I didn't notice that. And then over here, we're just setting our image. We're making sure it's this size, and then we're leaving all of these other ones default. So now, if I come in here, I press play, you'll see that I have the icon on my screen, and for some reason it's not in the correct place. I'll have to figure that out. But you can see as I get further and further away, the icon gets lower and lower. I think the reason for that is I placed it incorrectly. And the reason we're having that issue is for some reason it's changed the binding here, so we just have to make sure that we change this one back. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to remove that binding, and then we are going to come to our image that we have set, going to bind that to single change texture, and then we're going to have to rebind this one because it's changed. So make sure you now set the brush bind to why is it doing that? There we go. That one should be unbound, that's right. Okay. So make sure that one is unbound and make sure the binding is on this one. I accidentally did it wrong. That's why we were having that issue. But now if we come in here and we press play, you'll see that I open it up and it's now in the correct spot. You can see there's 4 bars because I'm right next to my character. You can see now as I get further and further away, there's now 3 bars, which means I am less than 1500 away. Oh, sorry, I'm more than 500. My drone battery ran out there, so I have to do it a bit quicker. But now I'm 3 bars, and then I'm now 2 bars, 1 bar, and then if I go greater than that, you can see now it has a static TV effect. and then after 5 seconds, I'll have my drone destroyed. But currently we have no way of telling when the drone is getting destroyed. There's no countdown appearing on our screen, so we'll have to set that up. And we'll also want to set up a low battery warning so we have a heads up on when that's about to pop up. So we'll be setting that up, and we also need to get our compass set up, which will be the final thing. So I'll be setting up all of that in the final episode for this tutorial series. But anyway guys, if you appreciated this content, let me know down below in the comments and give me a like or a subscription, it really helps. If you want to see any other tutorials similar to this one where I recreate different game mechanics or just similar things that you want to see, let me know down below in the comments. Anyway guys, that's it for this episode, see ya.